Nigel Farage has accused Leo Varadkar of playing the biggest game of poker, with his refusal to allow any fresh Brexit negotiations on the controversial Irish backstop that threatens to sink Theresa May's deal. The Brexiteer said the Irish Prime Minister has put farmers and exporters in his own country at risk with his commitment to the European Union. Mrs May has vowed to go back to negotiate a number of legally binding assurances that Brussels won't hold Britain hostage in the customs union backstop. The insurance policy has been an ever-present Brexit demand from Mr Varadkar, who insists the current withdrawal agreement will not be reopened by Brussels to accommodate any new requests from Mrs May. Mr Farage believes the Irish Prime Minister has wrongly used the backstop to strengthen his own position in Brussels. The former UKIP leader said, "He's not been helpful at any point during this. But yet, he's the one playing the biggest game of poker, and of any European leader he's got the most to lose. If we left on no-deal terms, it's his people that will get hurt, but he's been the bidder on behalf of the European project, and he's placed that priority higher than his own farmers and exporters." Mr Farage is unconvinced by the terms Mrs May has returned after almost 2 years of negotiations with the EU. He has branded the backstop as incredibly worrying, adding, "I don't know how anybody sane would sign up to it, but the rest of the deal is no good either." After last week's European Council summit in Brussels, Mr Varadkar said the EU would happily offer Britain clarifications and assurances on the backstop, but would not renegotiate the withdrawal agreement again. He said, "We are always willing to offer clarifications, explanations, and we can discuss what form that takes, but what we won't be doing as an European Union is renegotiating the withdrawal agreement, and as an European Union we confirm the backstop needs to be part of the withdrawal agreement. As Europe we reaffirmed our commitment to the need for a backstop, not just because it protects Ireland and ensures there's no hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, thus protecting the peace process and the Good Friday Agreement, but also because it's a European issue too. And an open border between Northern Ireland and Ireland can't become a backdoor to the single market, and that's why European countries also very strongly support the backstop."
The lack of agreement between Brussels and Westminster has forced Mrs May to ramp up Britain's no-deal Brexit preparations. The Cabinet approved £2 billion to help if the Prime Minister's deal is rejected and Britain crashes out of the EU without a deal. Letters will be sent to 140,000 firms, updating them on how they should prepare, and 35,000 troops will be put on standby to help the government. Gavin Williamson, the Defence Secretary, told MPs that no formal request have been made by government departments to make use of the 3,500 troops being held at readiness. Mrs May's spokesman said, "The government continued to believe that Brexit under the terms of the deal struck by Mrs May with Brussels remains the most likely scenario." But he added, "We will now set in motion the remaining elements of our no-deal plans." Cabinet also agreed to recommend to businesses and ensure they are similarly prepared, enacting their own no-deal plans as they judge necessary. Citizens should also prepare in line with the technical notices issued in the summer and in line with further more detailed advice that will now be issued over coming weeks. Steve Barclay, the Brexit Secretary, told MPs that a no-deal Brexit is the default position unless they get behind the Prime Minister's deal. He said, "Parliament needs to back the deal because the consequence of not doing so is we risk the default of no deal, and a responsible government must prepare for that eventuality." Thank you for your time. Subscribe for more upcoming news.